This is Jennifer Sims, your favorite purple mortgage lender, and I'm here today to talk about steps to getting into a mortgage. If you're buying a home or doing a refinance of your existing mortgage, you may be wondering how the whole mortgage process works. Knowing where you are in the process and what the next steps are can be very helpful. Let's begin with step number 1, which is submitting an application. You can submit an application online, in person, or over the telephone. Once you have submitted an application, I will contact you to ask some additional questions. The next step is to see how much you qualify for, which takes us to step number 2, qualification. If you are buying a home, we can provide a pre-qualification or a pre-approval letter so that you know how much money you can borrow so you can go out and look at homes. Refinancing a home. When you refinance an existing mortgage, you may be simply wanting to change the terms of your loan to a lower rate or get a fixed rate mortgage if you're currently in an adjustable rate mortgage, otherwise known as an ARM. Or you may want to take money out, which is called a cash out refinance. Whatever you want to do, you will need to know how much you qualify for. Whether you are buying or refinancing, we will ask you some initial questions like how much you earn, how much you have in savings, how much you owe on your credit cards, cars, etc. And this will help us find out what programs are available for you and how much you may qualify for. This brings us to the next step, which is submitting your documentation. You will begin by sending in your documentation. This is the information we will need to qualify you for your loan. I will tell you exactly what we need and make it quite simple for you to send it to us. Once you have given the initial information, we will send you paperwork that is called disclosures, which is our next step. You will receive a set of disclosures. The disclosures are called a loan estimate and will include all of your costs of the loan. The loan estimate is a 3-page disclosure that details the costs associated with the mortgage loan. There are other disclosures that are required by law to be sent. It is important to review the disclosures and let me know if you have any questions along the way. You must let me know that you have received the disclosures and are ready to move forward. This is called an intent to proceed, which is the next step. The intent to proceed is usually completed electronically, which means that you are ready to move forward. The next step is ordering the appraisal. Once you electronically sign the initial paperwork, your home appraisal will be ordered. Some loan types allow for an appraisal waiver, and if you are fortunate to receive one, then this will not be needed. The first step in getting your appraisal will be setting the appointment for the appraiser to come out and review your home. The appraiser will call you to set a time that is convenient to inspect your home. If you are buying a home, your agent will be contacted to set the appointment. Once your appraisal is ordered, your loan file will move on to the next stage, which is gathering and reviewing any missing documentation. You may work with the processor who will be handling your loan file. The processor will review the documentation that you have submitted to ensure that the file is complete. The processor's job is to be a liaison between you, the loan originator, and the underwriter assigned to the loan file. The processor looks for proper calculations to ensure the debt-to-income ratios are accurate and orders flood certifications, mortgage payoffs, and various other documentations. Once the processor has received all documentation to support your file, the next step is what we call underwriting. This is for approval. In most cases, after underwriting, an initial approval or a conditional approval will be issued. This means that the file is approved, but the approval is subject to certain conditions. We will let you know as soon as possible if there's anything else we need from you. Time is of the utmost essence, so if we contact you for additional information, you will want to be sure to respond in a timely manner so that your loan file will keep moving along. It is the underwriter's responsibility to ensure every loan meets the lender investor's required guidelines. The underwriter reviews the validity of the appraised value, calculates the income used for the loan, and runs various loan fraud checks. If questions arrive during the review process, the underwriter will request additional documentation as needed. The next step, closing. This is when you get a clear to close by the underwriting department so it can move to the closing department. In a refinance transaction, closing is scheduled with you, the borrower, and we will inform the title company and closing department of the requested time and date. In a purchase transaction, the closing date is negotiated between the buyer and the seller of the property, and that date is included in the sales contract. Once the title company receives closing instructions, we will work with the title company to prepare the closing disclosure. The closing disclosure must be received by the borrowers at least 3 business days prior to consummation. This typically is where you sign your final CD. It's important that you acknowledge receipt so we can close on time. We will work with you and let you know when to expect your closing disclosure and how to acknowledge that it's signed. This is important because there's a 3-day waiting period between the time you acknowledge receiving the closing disclosure and the time that you can actually sign and close on your home loan. The final step is funding after closing. This is when loan documents have been signed by the borrowers and the 3-day rescission period have passed on primary residence refinance transactions. Loan funds are dispersed. Prior to funding, we will review the signed documents and ensure that any prior to funding conditions have been cleared on the loan file. There certainly are several steps in the home loan process, but we are here to help you. My name is Jennifer Sims, your favorite purple mortgage lender at HOMESTAR, 770-307-6283.